This isn't rocket science. How many of you in here would agree that you'd probably take a number 3 ranking over a 13? Anyone disagree? That's good. And 5,000 visitors from search is probably better than 500. There we go. Good. I see a lot of heads nodding. Well, and I love all this flashy ranking stuff. Hold on one second. Let me go through its transitions. There we go. Here it goes. Those statements are totally false. I'm going to tell you why. Maybe if you're a publisher, maybe. But I'll tell you why they're false. They quite simply don't track down to anything of real importance. My website right now just so happens to rank well for the phrase, why do football players wear armbands around their elbows? How many of you think that the traffic that comes from that term led to phone calls or emails from people that were interested in SEO? No one. You guys are all raising your hands? They don't. So the idea that you should analyze the success of an SEO campaign by traffic or rankings is not necessarily true. I would take a number 13 in Google over a number 3 in Yahoo for my service any given day because of the amount of traffic and the market share that Google has versus what Yahoo has. Now, in certain industries, that may not be the case. But in my industry, I would take a 13 in Google over a 3 in Yahoo any day. So, let's talk a little bit about the SEO myth. The thing that I hate most about search, and I love search, but there's things that I hate about search. And one of them is that every site ranks well for something. My site ranks well for the word, why do football players wear armbands around their elbows? But that's not something that's really worth talking about. Who cares if my site ranks well for that term? Does that talk about sales, leads? You know, it's funny. All the people that came through that term, one page viewed and left. They're not the people that we're looking to target. So, the audience participation segment kind of kicks in here. So, to get your ego out of SEO, you would realize that rankings are a means to an. There we go. Thank you. It's easy then. You should look at, and I skipped ahead a slide, SEO, you should really look at it as only being a matchmaker. I mean, SEO is a very hot industry now. It's been for a while. But you really should look at SEO as only being a matchmaker for your site. What I mean by that is, once we get someone delivered to your site, your goal should be to have them never use search again to find you, unless they maybe are using your brand name. Does anyone have an idea why I make that recommendation? Anyone?
I'm sorry, can I go back one thing? You said right now, your site ranks well for why do football players wear armbands. Well, obviously it's not doing well for you, but that's part of the presentation. How long does it take to change what your site is optimized for?
It's a hard question to answer because I don't know why my site's ranking well for that. We didn't target that. It was an accident. But, I'll take traffic, but none of those people are doing anything that really matters to me staying in business. I think what happens, and I'll talk about this a little bit, when you bring up the importance of your website in Google overall, it just kind of like flows down all these pages and all the content you write somehow starts to rank well. I know any of the active bloggers in here will know that. Sometimes you get people that are coming to your site for really random things that you never really intended. But it's just kind of what happens. And that's what I mean when I say rankings aren't everything. I could say that we rank really high for the word about football players and armbands and elbows, but what does that really do for my business? Nothing. So when I look at SEO as being a matchmaker, it means get someone to your site and don't have them go back to a search engine to find you again. Why do you think that's the case? Somebody. Yes?
Because you may be up there today, gone tomorrow.
You've got it. And your name? G? G said that you might not be there tomorrow. That's absolutely true. How many of you have had a ranking that has stayed at the same point for 6 months straight and it never went up or down? No one. Maybe for your brand name at best. There's a reason for that. It's a volatile industry. Also, every time I type in something, I'm exposed to all of your competitors. So if somebody finds me by typing in SEO consultant, well, that's great. But I have to make sure that the content on my site, my article archives, my blog, and everything else that I can do gets them to remember us as a company, looks for SEER or SEER Interactive, or they just know to type in thinkseer.com, because every time they go back out, there's 15 other people trying to rank well for that term that are saying, hey, well, don't look at them anymore, look at us. And because search has made the world so small, someone can go, yeah, well, I'm 90% down the road to working with those guys, but you know what, I'm just going to do my due diligence real quick and click on a couple of other people, and they may see something there that makes them say, I'm going to give them a call. And then they give them a call, and next thing I know, I'm doing the follow-up calls of, why aren't they taking my calls anymore? And it's because they went back out to a search engine to look for an SEO consultant. Maybe I kept my same spot, but they said, I'll click on or open 4 or 5 windows and look at a few other people. Search should be a one-time matchmaker for you, and of course people are going to come back and search you over and over again. But you should strive to have someone only find you once by having great content. And that comes back to the design, how user-friendly it is, how usable your site is, and how you remarket to people. Are you constantly updating your blog so that if they sign up for your RSS feed, they're getting information over and over again, and you're staying fresh in their minds?